Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Megaman Battle Network 2. In the last part, we saved Yai, and no, I ended off at Lan's house, but you want to come to Yai's house and do some other stuff first. Investigator head to get her passcode, and then jack into the, what's it called? The phone here to find, I believe, just a reg up in a couple of thousand, like 1,000 zennies or so. Yeah, regular ups are something I'm going to try and find a lot of, along with power-ups, which allow you to boost your stats. I'm going to be getting to one this later this video, and, what's it called? HP memories. And now jack into her laptop. I just realized there's a doll of Data from Megaman Legends on her... what's it called? Couch. I'm kidding. I can't speak words today, and oh god, that background is terrifying. Seriously, they're trying to make Yai look all pretty, but, she's not. Anyway, we got a new virus here, Spookies. They're actually the very first guys at this point that we can encounter, along with Swordies which we'll meet later, that actually can use battle chips of their own. Usually they're recovery chips, but what they'll do is that when you're on the same line as them, they'll move to a different line, or rather row, and then after a while they'll do their attack, which is to disappear for a bit, and reappear right in front of you, and then shoot their tongue out at you. They're not that hard, they can just be annoying, especially some of their later variants. Because like other RPGs, this is guilty of just recoloring enemies for other ones, although their patterns can be kind of different. I need a long sword S. But one effective way to take care of Spookies is to just wait for them to attack and then use a sword chip. So yeah. And up here we got an HP memory, if memory serves. Yes, it does. And we have the new enemy Swordie here. What they'll do is that they'll go into the front row and use their sword on you. It's a, I believe it's a long sword variant, which means I can hit two spaces, but it might be a program advance kind of thing. I have that reversed there. But they're not that bad. They can use battle chips later on, like I believe they can use area grab like I just did, but they're not that bad. That should not have been able to kill that guy. Also, you can get life energy from battle if you take enough damage, I believe. I'm not sure what makes it happen, though. And here we got this Yai security cube, so now we can come to here from anywhere in the den area. Yeah, that is a Data doll on her couch. And now to Dex's house. First off, there's a Game Boy Advance inside of a Game Boy Advance game. That's kind of Inception-wise. Anyway, jacking into here, there's not much but a battle chip, if memory serves. Yeah, mini-bomb, asterisk. Asterisk chips, I forgot to mention, actually. They can be used after any letter code, so they can be fairly useful. Now, I could technically wait until after I do the other thing in Dex's house right now to do this, but what I'm doing is that I'm heading all the way to the end. And at the end, there's a couple of blue mystery datas. One is like 800 zenny, and the other is Gut Punch B. Gut Punch B is the first punching chip. I don't put it into my library because I generally like to stick with what I do, but pretty much you'll punch right in front of you. Ho, Lan! You want to take on my Guts Man? Challenge Dex to a battle, Lan? No crying now. And the first optional boss of the game is against the Guts Man himself. Da-da! Now, Guts Man is not that much harder than Airman. Although I'm ashamed to say that I finished Airman like 3 times the speed. What Gutsman will do is that he'll do shockwave moves like a Metar, teleport, if you're in the front row, he'll teleport in front of you and do a punch. And then he can do what he just did there, which is crack the ground. Which can actually kind of hinder him in some ways, if you know what you're doing right. Now, there aren't actually many battle chips that I forgot to mention this. The only battle chips that can stun an enemy boss are sword chips, program advances, and character chips. Everything else will just give them a brief invincibility period, nothing like what other chips can do. And one thing I also haven't mentioned is that how close to the enemy actually can determine your rate of fire. Like, what I'm saying. When I'm far away from him like this, I can only do like a shot every second. When I'm right in front of him, though, I can pretty much machine gun blast. Although, that's one thing I will admit Star Force fixes, is that, In Star Force, you just have to hold down the button to shoot repeatedly. In this, you have to press the button multiple times. And then there's the add button. I don't think I talked about this yet. I may have. I don't remember. It's been a couple days since I recorded the other parts. What that does is that it'll take whatever battleships you've selected, remove them from your folder for the time being, and give you 2 more chips than you had before. If you have an excess of certain chips, it can be very useful. But Gutsman is not much of a problem. And for beating him, we got Gutsman G. I don't remember what that does whatsoever. But for beating Gutsman, we also get the Dex code. So let's jack back into Dex's computer and go to the end of it, where we got those items. Now, right outside of it, there's this is just for shortcut purposes. Let's use Dex's code and jack immediately back out. And now it's time for us to head to school. Now, there's only 2 things we can do in the school right now. That's, now, what I'm thinking is that, I forgot that I already got the panel grab. But what you want to do is... Oh, I forgot to mention, panel grab grabs 1 specific tile, that's it. You can jack into the blackboard here. If only I had that on. And inside you can find, Sword L chip, I believe. For program advances, all you really need is 3 consecutive kinds of a chip, like, Life Sword, which is the best one to me, is Sword S, Wide Sword S, or Long Sword S, but it can be any kind of variation of those chips, as long as it's the same letter code. Now, there's not much to get in here. If I remember correctly, there's just a full energy sub-chip, which, yes, there is. What that does is that it entirely, restores your health. But now that we're done with those, that took like 6 minutes, let's go to bed and save today's events on the PET. This generally means that you completed what I like to call a chapter, so we're on chapter 2 now. A few days after the start of vacation. You should do your homework at least once in a while, Lan. I'm skipping through the text too fast. Forget I'm playing, let's make the best of it. That's the spirit. How about a beach? Or a camping trip? They both sound like fun. Let's go camping. Mother Nature, here we come. You are not a nerd. That settles it. Let's go tell Melu and the others. And now for this part, we have to go to all the people's places and talk to them. And this is also where you would technically first find out that you can battle Gutsman, but I already know ahead of time. So Dex can't come. Yai, as we're about to learn, is actually doing that. She actually took that cruise around the world thing legitimately. And Melu, as if you go to her house, you're gonna learn she's not there. So talk to her friend here to find out that Melu is actually back at the school, apparently doing her homework. Nerd. Then again, I really shouldn't be talking because I should be doing my homework right now. Darn it, everyone's too busy. It was all too spontaneous. You said it. What now? Well... Mail. Wanna read it? Sure. Attention all Z license holders. The center is working for city net battles, blah blah blah, go to the marine harbor. Wouldn't hurt if we passed. Well, I was skipping through this far too fast. Pretty much, we can go take another license exam, and we'll talk about everyone going to the camp tomorrow. I think Megaman even says something about sending out a message. And welcome to the metro line, somehow repaired from an explosion less than a day later, just a couple days later. Anyway, talk to those registers right there, get the marine ticket, and we can head on over to here. And we immediately get a mail saying from Dex that that they can go to camping tomorrow. Yay. And this is Rabita. She's actually not that big of a character in the series, although she does have a bit more of a role in the anime. But talking to her reveals the Toadman optional boss. And I can say this, to those of you who have played Mega Man 4, Toadman's nowhere near as easy here. His pattern is to always switch between these 2 lily pads, which can be annoying as it is. Those tadpoles can come out at random times, and his main attack that I see him do more often than not is what he just did there. That note, if I remember correctly, does electric damage, which will stun you, and it can do I think it does like 20 damage total, but not that bad. One thing I actually haven't mentioned, and his other attack is to disappear from the lily pad and show up right in front of you to do punch of sorts. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned is that you can actually refight all bosses in this game, but they'll be at higher levels. Like, there's, like, say, I forget how, but you can, at certain parts of Den Area, I believe, you can refight or Airman. He'll be like Airman SP, which is like a much more powerful version. And you can also get his chip, which is actually a really good chip, too. Well, not the SP chip. It depends on the person, really. In fact, that's the grinding, really, that Mega Man Battle Network really, and Star Force really have, is grinding for character chips. And that sword should have killed him! What I should be doing right now is actually taking those heal chips and adding them away, since I don't really need the heal, although then again I am at 50 HP, so maybe. But he's dead as it is. Toadman, not that bad, but it can be annoying. And we get 500 zennies, even though you can get his chip if you beat him quicker. And for beating her, we get the Ribby code, or Ribbit code. I had to do something there, I don't remember what though. I think I was just taking a quick break, or I don't remember, I recorded this like last night. Anyway, here's the Jack into the van to find, first off, 1,000 zennies there, to find Ribby Comp, I believe is what it's called, which has a few new viruses actually. Shell Geek and Shrimp Eats. Shell Geeks, from what I remember... Wait, no, from what I remember, I do remember this. They'll open up every once in a while and do an attack that is just pretty much a harpoon that goes in a straight line. And they'll stay open for a bit afterwards, which is really a good opportunity to hit them. In fact, I should have used that sword and killed it right then and there. But nope, I just prefer the slowness of hitting it right in front. And Shrimpies will travel along a column, and when they're on the same row as you, they'll fire a bubble, very slow-moving bubble at you. Later variations will get faster, but it's not that bad. I should not have been able to land that last hit on him, by the way. Yeah, the viruses in this game can either be really easy to abuse their AI on, or otherwise, because this guy has no chance now. I do love this game's soundtrack. I'm gonna say that a lot. Although, Battle Network 6 still has my favorite soundtrack. And for coming all the way here, we get an Elexord E. Elexord is really good against water elemental viruses. Anyway, here in Den Area 3, this is an area we haven't gone to in it, use the Rabita code to get past there. That, if you have an unlocker chip, that contains a power-up, which is pretty much... I don't even know how to explain it. I think... I don't know how to explain it. But we're going to be getting one right here anyway. What they do is that they allow you to level up one of the powers on Mega Man's Buster. They are Rapid, Attack, and Charge. Attack will make it do 2 damage. Rapid will increase the fire. Charge, the first level of Charge allows you to actually charge it. It's a really slow charge, but it'll do 5 damage, so it's fairly useful. And the way I cut out of, there's nothing that way but a dead end. And a green mystery data which contained a certain element of shockwave. I don't remember which one, though. Ah, man, editing out these random battles makes it so much faster. Anyway, coming into here unlocks this portal to the square. But that's all I came here for. There's nothing really to do this right now at the square. Why am I standing around? There we go. I think I may have been looking at something off screen. Anyway, immediately here in the center, Jack into the coffee maker. Because there is something in here that I can't remember. Regular up one, so now our regular ship can be 1 megabyte bigger. It's always good to find items like that. Anyway, talk to this lady and say yes to her both times to... get on to the next license exam. Because you need the exam card to progress. What am I doing? I think that guy in the professor code actually in the last room was a subchip dealer. And now we can take the exam. Fun fact, I was stuck here for about a week my first playthrough. Well, not like a week, more like a couple days. But anyway, jacking in, we're right back in the den square, but there's this guy right here. Also, we get an email from Yai saying that she can go camping tomorrow as well. But talking to this guy does the first of the problems, or part of the exam, which is fighting 5 battles of the viruses listed on screen right now. It's not that hard, but don't be too reckless with it. And the second part of the exam is to find people in need and help them out. But we're gonna have to save that for next part. Thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And next time on Let's Play Mega Man Battle Network 2, we're gonna go find that area, that Navi in need. I believe it's in Den Area 3 where Rabita's code was. And help them out and see what they need. See you guys then. Also, HP memories are really expensive. Luckily Zenny won't be a problem later on. Later!